Okay, today I want to show you how we took our bathroom window from this to this. Backstory. Last year, we remodeled our bathroom. We transformed pretty much everything we could while still keeping a few things like the bathtub and the vanity. But overall, it's totally transformed and we love it. However, there was one small problem: the window. I did not know what kind of window treatment to put on that window. I was thinking it would be nice to see out of the window, but my husband likes a lot of privacy. We also have cats who like to look out the window. So basically, I got a just simple white striped curtain that you could see out of a little bit, or you could open it. But I didn't really like it, and my spouse didn't really like it. So I had a problem. What would I do? So I did have a few ideas about doing a stained glass window, and I looked at getting something custom or buying something new, but they were very, very expensive for the size that I needed. So one day I found a beautiful stained glass window on Facebook Marketplace, and I was super excited. The only problem was it was not quite the right size, but I was like, I don't care. I'm going to get it anyway. So I go and pick it up. I bring it home. It's in good shape, but it does need to be cleaned up a little bit. I painted the frame and, had to figure out what to do with the window. So I decided I will hang it in the center of the window, and then behind it, I'll do a frosted glass film so you can't see around the window. So that's what I did, and I'll show you in this video exactly how I did that, and just show you how it turned out. I absolutely love it, and I think it's a huge, huge improvement from what we had before. So the first thing that I did with the frame is to strip off any old paint or grime, fully clean it off so it was ready to go. And then I taped around the frame so I could paint it with the same paint that we were already using in our bathroom for the window trim, so it would blend in beautifully. And this took about 2 coats of paint and, a few days just because I was flipping it over to paint the other side. And that was the first part. Okay, so I've got some spray paint here. I am going to spray paint 4 of these little screw eye hooks so I can hang my stained glass window in my other window. Okay, first I need to take down this curtain. This was meant to be temporary, so we have to take it down so we can install our window film and then eventually our stained glass window. So I'm just unscrewing the curtain rod holder. It actually took me a little while to take out the curtain rod because it was in these little holders that were screwed into the trim, and it was pretty hard to reach the screws. So, it was great when we had it. It gave it some extra security. Just took a little bit longer to take it down. Unscrew the other side. Okay, now I need to wash this window completely. Now, one thing that I wish I had really been just a little bit more careful on is the corners of the window. So this is, not really a standard window. I think someone just, put it up and made it themselves at some point. But there are like little bits of paint and maybe sealant right in the corners of the frame and the glass. and I tried to get a lot of them out, and then the rest I figured you wouldn't really notice once the film was installed. But unfortunately, if you look closely, you can see them, especially at night. But, what can you do? Okay, so you can see a corner of my messy living room, but it was one of the only places with clear floor space, so I could measure out the dimensions from the roll and then cut the piece to put onto the window. So, the first step to applying a window film is to fully spray the surface with water and soap. So, just a little bit of soap and a water mixture. And it says to spray it evenly over the surface. It's impossible. Okay. I need your help over here, actually. Yeah. So, after that, I did have to get the help of my spouse to put this up because it was pretty difficult. Yeah, the window is a little bit on the larger side. So I really recommend two people to put it up. And I made sure to oversize the dimensions just slightly so that I would later go back and trim off the sides. Now, one of the hardest parts about the window film was getting all the little bubbles out and getting it smooth over the surface. The kit came with a little scraper, which I used and, tried to work from the center outwards. And I even had to reposition it a few times, especially at the corners. And I worked on it for quite a while, and it's not perfect, but it turned out pretty well. And then the next day, I did notice more bubbles, and so I've been trying to work those out a little bit. Now, I think another one of the hardest parts of the window film was cutting around the edges just because our window is set back quite a bit and it's a little bit uneven where it meets the frame just due to years of paint. And it's hard to cut in those corners even with a really tiny X-Acto knife. So, in some cases, it tore a little bit and it was not a completely straight line, which does bother me, my type A personality. But hopefully, I'm one of the only people who notices. And now you all know. Here I am screwing the hooks into the top of the frame of the stained glass window. I am also taking this black chain that I got at Ace Hardware and I am separating it into 2 lengths of chain that are going to be the exact lengths that I need to hang my window centered inside my bathroom window. I realized I had a little bit of touch up to do on the frame, so I am just touching up those areas and making sure it looks all good before I put it up. Okay, so I'm finally going to hang the stained glass window where it belongs, and I am so excited to see how it looks. What I did is I got some, I don't know if you can see that, some little eye hooks at the hardware store, and then I got some chain cut to size. And I used pliers to get them together. So I'm just going to set this here for a sec. Oh, I need to get a stool. Okay. All right, I'm just going to stand up here. And I have little hooks on these. I'm probably blocking the way, huh? I can't see it. Okay, then I'm just going to hook one in to one hook on one side. I just screwed these into wood trim. And I'll just put the other hook on. So I'm leaving them open so I can take this off if I ever need to for cleaning. And then, there we go, just set it down. And voila! Oh my gosh, it looks beautiful. It's pretty much just what I imagined, so I'm really happy with it. And here's the before and after. I absolutely love how this turned out. I think it is such a big improvement, and it also is fitting for the age of this house. And 1920s houses, a lot of the nicer ones, do have stained glass. So even though ours is a pretty small house from 1919, I think it's still super fitting. And honestly, I also love the lily pad and flower design. And I think it's, just really beautiful. And this is actually one of the last details on our bathroom renovation, which I am planning to share more of here on the channel.